you're looking for all the answers, I don't have them. But what I do have is a particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people who mislead or misinform the sports card industry. So if you don't do that, I'll let it go. That would be all. But if you do, I will find you and I will expose you. Whew, still waiting on that casting call. I don't have my fingers crossed, but you never know. Anyway, welcome to a brand new episode of the Sports Card Investigator. My name is Andy, and I am the Sports Card Investigator. Guys, glad you're here. Think this is going to be an informative show. In fact, I know it's going to be an informative show because this is going to give you some information, some insight on how to protect yourself from those bad actors out there. And there are a load of bad actors that are waiting to separate you from your money. And we don't want that to happen. We never want that to happen. You know, it's funny. I was thinking, how does this correlate to my old career with DEA? And every time I think about what I'm going to talk about with you guys, I say, there is a correlation. Just find it. Because we do so many things in the sports card industry that not just a little bit relate to what I used to do, which is crazy, right? Because I used to be in drug law enforcement. But a lot of it does correlate. And I'll give you an example. What I'm going to talk about today, right, is when I was a young agent, back in my heyday, when it really was the wild, wild west of drug trafficking in the late 80s and 90s, man, those were the days, right? Well, for me, but that's what I did for a living. And I used to do a lot of undercover work. And I loved undercover work. It was fun. It was exciting. It was thrilling. It was dangerous. And I just loved doing it because I could put myself in another world for the time being and just be whoever I wanted to be. If I wanted to be a kid in college, which at that time I was a really young dude. In fact, I don't know, you might be seeing a picture as we speak. Or a luxury car salesman, or a business person, or whatever. I could just place myself into that role. I loved it. So there were definitely people that were good at undercover and people that were not so great at undercover. And I get it. Different strokes for different folks. Agents were, they were diverse. They did everything. Some guys were good with numbers. Some guys were good with undercover. Some guys were good with surveillance. Just depended, right? But what I loved about undercover, was just being in that element for the time being. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but I love doing it. But there were some definite rules that you had to abide by when you were undercover. I mean, there's stuff that you could do, and there's things that you couldn't do. And one of the things that were preached to you as a young undercover agent was never front the money. Well, why? Well, we were being afraid of getting ripped off. And no one wants to get ripped off because there's a lot of paperwork you got to do. What happened? Andy lost 15 grand. He lost 15 grand. How? Well, the bad guy showed up and he said to Andy, the drugs are around the corner. So just give me the money. I'll go get the drugs. And then I would give the money because I was young and I was stupid. And the guy left and never came back. Surveillance lost him, and it was a whole nightmare, right? Things like that happen, okay? But then I started thinking, in this industry that we're in, that we love so much, that we talk about every single day nonstop, as a buyer, that's all we do is front the money, right? So are there things that we can do to protect ourselves? Yeah, I think there are. And I'm going to go over a lot of them today. I'm actually going to take you through the process that I use when I buy and when I sell. And I'm also going to teach you a little bit, or maybe not teach, but inform you guys, because a lot of you guys know more about it than I do, about some of the scams and some of the things that are going around now that you can try to prevent yourself from falling in a bad situation. So, with that, let's get going. So, what can we do as a buyer to protect ourselves in this non-regulated industry? Well, thankfully, eBay and PayPal, for that matter, will stand by you, almost to a fault, right? But there are still things that you can do that will make your buying sports cards on eBay and other platforms, which I'll go into a little bit, better and better odds of you being successful. What's the number one thing on eBay that I always tell people when they go, hey Andy, you buy a lot on eBay, what do you do to protect yourself? Well, one of the things I do is I'm very observant when I buy on eBay. What does that mean? Well, just know your surroundings. Now, we harken back to when I was with DEA, right? And when I was doing undercover. If I would meet a bad guy for the first time, my antenna was up because I had no idea what was going on. Usually it was an introduction from an informant. And that informant basically said, hey, I've known Andy for 5 years. He's a cool dude. His connect left him, and now he's just trying to find someone else who can help him out. And I thought of you right away. And then the questions would come from the trafficker. And he would usually tell the informant to shut up because he had asked the informant questions about me prior, and now he's going to test me. And that's where I had to be on my game. I also had to be observant when I met him because there were other people involved. Was there counter surveillance in the area, right? Were there other things that I had to be aware of? Were there cars that were there that I haven't seen before? Were there cars that were following me after I did a buy, right? So those are the kind of things as an agent I had to make sure I was observing at all times. Now, what do we do when we're buying cards? It's all different, right? Well, yes and no. Know your circumstances and surroundings. The first thing I would do is do my research on the seller. Well, how do I do that? Read the feedback. Now, if he's got 100% good feedback, glance at it, great, terrific. Go on your way, buy, be happy. If someone looks, happens upon me, they'll see, 100% feedback or whatever it is, or whoever else is selling, and they could be pretty confident that they're going to get what they're paying for. And that's important, right? But what about the bad feedback? What about those guys that have maybe 96.5 good and that other 4% bad? So you click on, right? You know where to go. You click on the guy, you go down, you click, and you sort, and you click the negative feedback. And if I see things like card not as described, card damaged, card bent, card scratched, surface issues, I move on because I'm not going to take that chance. It's just not worth my aggravation, right? Now, if there's a card that looks great and you really want to get it, feel free, message the seller, ask for more pictures. If he's forthcoming, if you get a good vibe, which you got to trust your gut on a lot of this stuff, then go for it. But just do your due diligence, right, when you're going to do that. If they're selling graded cards, this is simple. And we talked about this before, because that's all I do is sell graded cards, okay? Run the certification number. You'll get a brief history. It's kind of like running a license plate on the car. When I'm out on surveillance, or was I out to do it undercover, all my surveillance guys around me were taking all these cars, whether they thought that maybe they were involved or not. And then they were running their license plates to see who they were and should they have been there at that time. Run a certification number on the card, the graded card. Oh, the off chance it doesn't come back at all, you can always call PSA. Hey, I have a certification number. This is weird, right? They'll tell you, we have no record of it. Thanks for letting us know. Could be fake, right? It's always possible. So it can't hurt by doing that, guys. Just for your own peace of mind, right? One of the things I wanted to bring up, and this happened, happens a little bit more and more, is when people offer a quantity of cards. Now, sometimes you'll see someone advertising on, eBay, you could buy a 4-card lot of, I don't know, Cam Reddish, right? And there'll be 4 cards you'll see, and then if they're a good seller, they will then take each card, front, back, whatever. But sometimes they're like, well, we have a quantity available of Cam Reddish silver card, whatever it is, but the quantity available. And then when you click, you'll say like, what quantity do you want? And it'll have like 1, 2, 3, 4. You click it, right? I hate that because you don't know what you're getting. So if you're saying, I'll take 4, you're probably not even seeing the cards you're going to get. And that's okay, here we go. That's one red flag because you're at the total mercy of that seller. And what I'll do is say, look, so honestly, I'll move on a lot of times because if you say to them, can you send me a picture of the cards you're going to send me? You may or may not get those cards. It's so hard. They're not serial numbered. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I thought that was something that I wanted to bring up because that's happening more and more, and I've seen that more and more. Quantity. I was going through, I think it was probably the end of November, early December. I was looking through trying to buy some raw cards for grading, and I was looking for a rookie, and I happened upon a 3-card lot of this rookie. And I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, man, these pictures are good. These cards look good. But the funny thing was, it's my picture. So someone decided that they liked my picture too. And they copied my picture. Either they snipped it or however they saved it. I don't know however they did it. And they put a listing up there. And it was basically my listing, almost verbatim, right? Except a different seller. And I messaged the seller and I said, wow, these are really great pictures. Can I see the back? And he messaged me and he goes, well, I'm trying to find I'm trying to find. What are you trying to find? You have the cards or not? And I was a smart ass. And I said, well, didn't you take the pictures when you took my photos? When you're using my photos? Didn't you take the backs too? And then that was it. Gone, disappeared. I let eBay know. I mean, that's the thing with eBay. I mean, don't you think that they should have someone that adjudicates issues just with sports cards? I mean, it's a million and millions of dollars that they're going through with these sports cards. And I'll talk about it a little bit later for as a seller, you're kind of screwed if a buyer complains because eBay's always going to side with the buyer, right? Now, when we're buying, that's terrific. When we're selling, not so much. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that kind of stuff that we can protect ourselves with. But I think, with returns and, I'm digressing a little bit, but like with returns and things like that and issues with the cards, they should have someone who knows sports cards, a sports card adjudicator for issues like that. Because that's going to become more and more prevalent because it's, as I said, unregulated, right? And anytime you have an unregulated industry, that's just ripe for schemes and scams and con men, and they know it. All right. So another one, and this is common sense, guys. I don't care if, you're looking and it's Lamar Jackson, rookie prism card and some guy has it up there, buy it now for whatever, $75. If it looks too good to be true, it is. Walk away. Don't worry about it. You're going to get another card that's going to be a better card. Don't take that chance because chances are, even though you're protected, you're not going to get the card that you want. Okay, and to me, it's just not worth that chance. A lot of guys now are buying off of Twitter, Instagram, the Discord channels, Facebook, and that's terrific because there you can actually, hopefully, when you're buying from people, you are using the relationships that you've built. But be careful, because people are lurking on those platforms waiting to take advantage of you. It is so easy to change handles or usernames. And trust me when I tell you this, I know this for a fact. People are working to figure out ways every single day, every moment of the day, to try to figure out ways to separate you from your money. It's what they do. That's their job. And I just hate to see any of our community fall prey to that, because it's prevalent. They love this industry. We'll call them bad actors, right? When in my line of work, I used to call them bad guys. But these are bad actors. And they are finding innovative ways to game this system. Now, this goes without saying. If you're buying on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is, or the Discord channels, and someone, they're lurking out there, some of these guys, and they come in and you see a card that you like, do not ever fall for the friends and family. If you do, you will lose your money if they're bad actors. There's no reason for that. If you don't know them personally, goods and services, pay the extra fee. It's just not worth the aggravation. Okay? Always goods and services. Another thing is, if you're with someone in the Discord and you don't know, because I will tell you for a fact, people do lurk in those dark corners of the Discord channels on the buy, sell, trade, and then they see something and they go in there and they try to take advantage. What I would do is ask them for their phone number. Say, hey man, I'll deal with you. Text me your number. Right? Now, again, so you have their number. It's not like we can run the phone number, know where they live, call the cops, have them, but at least it gives them some pause maybe to say, all right, this guy is not an easy mark. At least he's going to try to do his due diligence to make sure he's dealing with someone reputable. And also ask them for references, right? Ask them for any references you can. Again, it's easy for them to make it up, but a lot of these Discord channels now, the Facebook groups, some of the people on Twitter, Instagram, they'll actually have a vetting process where it's like, this guy will talk to the admin person. Hey, I've known this guy for 5 years. He just came in. He sold something. I will vouch for him. I see that all the time, and it's great, right? This guy, card guy 57, he's solid or whatever. Anything you could do to make yourself feel better about the purchase. Again, my background, my OCD, I trust people, but I have to verify, because it's money we're talking about. And sometimes it's a lot of money. So we have to make sure. Try to get any leverage you can when you deal with these people. Okay? It's just for your own safety and financial well-being. Someone close to me, unfortunately, there was a bad actor out there, and he was selling some cards on Twitter and messaged back and forth. They were having a conversation, and he goes, there's 4 cards if you want them, and they negotiated a price, and the price was very fair. It wasn't like a ton of money, but it was expensive enough. It was like $40 a card for 4 cards, so it was $160. I mean, it's not like nothing. It's a lot of money. And he said, yep, sent him the money. Oh, can you do it friends and family? Did it friends and family. And the guy just ghosted him, right? And then the guy who got taken advantage of has a pretty big Twitter following. So he, after, the guy went, disappeared, he said, hey, if you deal with this guy, don't. He's a scam artist. The guy came out of hiding and basically said, oh no, my grandmother died. I went to Las Vegas. I'm going to send the card. Never sent the cards. Never heard from again. So just make sure, that when you're dealing with someone, especially with PayPal, goods and services, and if they ask for an alternative method of payment, don't do it. Hey, send me $60 in Home Depot gift cards. Don't laugh. No, run away. Run away. So as a buyer, for the most part, if we're on eBay, we're okay. there are chances that we could get screwed, but as a seller is where we really kind of put ourselves out there a little bit for fraud, right? And there are some things out there that I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about, and I think you're going to see some slides that pop up there, because a lot of people say, do this, do that, but this will be kind of a reference for you guys, because I want to make sure you guys are doing this on your eBay. A lot of you are doing it. Great. Terrific. This is just for maybe the new guys that are getting started on eBay. Sometimes, people, when I tell them about this, they don't even know it exists. So I think it's important. So as a seller, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into your account, right? And go into your, go into my eBay and the summary. So you see that projected. And then from the summary, you're going to click on my account. And then from there, you're going to go onto your site preferences, okay? And from there, you're going to go into your buyer requirements, okay? And then it's going to pop up. And then you're going to see the requirements that as a seller, you want your buyer to make. And there's plenty of them out there. What I do is I kind of like get the best that eBay offers you. One of the things for block buyers who have received 2 unpaid items strike within 1 month. Look, I don't mean this in a bad way, but I don't want deadbeats or people that aren't going to pay, or for whatever reason. Why are you bidding on an auction you're not going to pay? I don't want to be involved with you, right? Because that can cost me money. That can cost me my bottom line. And how is that possible? Well, let's say you sell a hot card on a 24-hour auction, right? And then that person doesn't pay. And then I have to open up an unpaid item case within, 48 hours later, okay? And then I have to wait, I think it's 3 or 4 days after that, and then I'll get my fees back. Well, that can happen in that time. Maybe that card that I sold for $100 is now worth $40. I'm kind of screwed. So if people have unpaid item cases against them, and eBay allows you to block guys with 2 in a month, do it. Do it. Feedback of a negative, 1 or more. You could have negative feedback. Now, who in your right mind are going to sell something with somebody who has negative feedback? Well, if you don't block them, you can. And chances are they're not going to pay, or they're going to give you some aggravation. So definitely do that. And you can see on that slide what you can do. And then going back to the Discord channels and the Twitter and Instagram, some of these Discord channels now, and I applaud them, they are actually starting scams and, guys not to be trusted channels on their Discord. And you know what? I think I have, yeah. Take your little notebook, or have your notebook or your phone. I know I'm school, I have a notebook. And write down those names of those eBay guys. And then what you're going to do, and you can see on this slide, go into your blocked bidders, right? You can see at the end of the last slide where it's highlighted, you hit that. It'll take you into the blocked bidders and just block those guys. You don't want to deal with them. You don't have to deal with them. There's no reason for you to deal with them. Move on. Sob stories. All right. When you're selling on eBay, don't fall for the sob stories. I beg of you, because they're just not true. They're not. Maybe 1 out of 100, 1 out of 1,000, but they're just not true. My son's favorite card, it's just out of my price range. I know, the auction's going to end, and would you take $150 for this card that I know is worth $400, but it's for my son and it's his birthday and it would mean the world to him, and could you do it? And no, sorry. I always respond very nicely and say, look, best of luck on the auction. Happy birthday to your son. I hope you win. And if you look at their feedback score, it's usually 0, because this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to target people that are selling good cards and trying to get them for less than what they're worth. Okay? Keep that in mind. I had a card up the other day, and maybe it's you'll see the email that was sent to me. It was a Kendrick Nunn Hollow PSA 10 optic, beautiful card. Probably worth about $250, $275. I forget what it went for, but it's a good card, right? Wish he was doing a little bit better than he is now, but that's for another day, right? But still a nice card. I think he's got a good player. And I got a message. But real quick, is it me or I don't know my iPhone like that bling, right, when you get that message from eBay or that sound and you look and you see you have a message? Does anyone cringe like, oh God, here we go again? Maybe that's just me, but unfortunately, or knock wood, it hasn't been that often. But every once in a while, oh my God, it's like you get some doozies, right? So the card was up, and I sent it to the guys that I talk to all the time. I said, I go, what do you think, guys? Should I make this deal? And it was like, I'll give you $45 fro. It was spelled wrong. The grammar was horrible, but he goes, I'll give you $45 for the Kendrick Nunn Hollow, and I will trade you, in addition to that $45, I will trade you a LeBron rookie card, a LeBron auto, and a Lamar Jackson auto or rookie. I don't know which one it was, but I'm like, hell yeah. No, look, I was born on a Tuesday, but not last Tuesday. So, I can't imagine. I actually went on the guys, to see, that's another thing I think. When you're buying from someone, see what else they're selling. Sometimes that'll be an eye-opener too. So I went on this guy. He had those cards. They were reprints. Lamar Jackson, the reprint with the fake, the facsimile autograph, and Lamar or LeBron James. And it was, hey, A for effort. Maybe it was a kid. Maybe he was like, wow, maybe they'll. I didn't even respond. I didn't have the heart to do it. But just move on. One of the scams that I'm seeing now, which is disturbing to me, is it's the old bait and switch, where I'm selling a card. Let's just say it's a Kendrick Nunn Hollow Raw card, and the card's really nice, good card, right? I'm putting it up there. Guy's hot, want to get the most bang for my buck, and he gets bought. For whatever the money is, I don't know, $60, $70 card, I don't know. And card gets shipped out, and I get that bloom, oh no, message. And the guy, and it says, well, what's going on? He goes, hey dude, you sent that card, it arrived, it's I don't know, not as described, it's not what I liked, it's got a bent corner, whatever. It's bull, right? We know it's BS, because the way we package our stuff, we know it's getting there in one piece. It's good to go. And then people will be like, well, just refund them and tell them to send the card back. Well, that's what he wants you to do, because he's going to send the card back, but it's not going to be your card. So why is he doing this? Well, he sees your card. It's money. It's pristine. It's good to go. So he's going to say, all right, I got a crap card. So I'm looking, I find, oh, there's a Kendrick Nunn Hollow. I'll order it, I'll get it, I'll come back, I'll tell them it's not what I wanted, then I'll send back the card that I don't want, right? Then what's eBay going to do? They're going to side with you, return. Oh, you return, okay, fine, because you see it all the time. Return the card, just return the card, I'll give you your money back. Well, they returned the wrong card, and you're screwed. Because you get that card back, you're like, this isn't the card I sent. If you even look at the pictures, and eBay's going to side with the buyer. That's going to be it. So be careful. I don't even know how you protect yourself against that. That just really pissed me off, right? But, that's one of the things I saw that I don't like at all. I don't like it all. PayPal unauthorized user. I got a email out of the blue about 3 weeks ago saying, hey, PayPal, we opened up an account. Your money's on hold because we flagged this in our system and we think it's an unauthorized user. Well, wait a minute. Whoa, hold the phone, right? I said, I called them and I said, look, What am I supposed to do? Don't ship the card. Well, you sent out the alert a week after I sent the card out. You know, it was like August 4th and you're sending it on August 15th or whatever it is. I said, are you kidding me? I go, card's out. And I go, second of all, look, I've been around the block a little bit here, guys. I said, look, I go, the payment was made. The card was shipped to the address on eBay, which correlates with the PayPal address, right? And they're like, no, we know. It was just flagged because whatever. And I said, look, I go, I know what happened. I go, I don't know what happened, but I'm going to guess. Someone who lives in that house, because why are they going to ship a card to a house that you're not there, right? And maybe it's the kid. He saw the card, wants the card. Dad leaves the PayPal or his phone out, gets the card, right? And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Well, no, you'll be fine. Okay, fine. He goes, well, it's open. When it's closed, we'll let you know. I sent him the tracking number. The card was delivered. Blah 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 blah, and you're good. And I thought that was it. Well, I go on. I get another email like a couple days ago, and now the individual who I sent the card to opened up an unauthorized case on me. And I called PayPal and I go, look, I go, what is going on? I go, you guys opened up a case and now someone else has opened up a case. I go, is this fair? Like what should I have done? What was the correct protocol for me to do? And they go, well, you know, when we did it, if you didn't ship it out yet, I go, it's a week later. I ship out the next day. No, that's right. That's what you should do. And the guy's like, well, we're going to release the money. And I'm like, great. And that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end. But here's what I'm thinking. Because I just, you know, that's what I do. I just think of the different scenarios. What if it wasn't an authorized use? What if it was just someone who's like, they only can do it once? Because you think PayPal would get onto this a little bit. But what if it was someone who wanted the card and then said, well, if I say it's unauthorized, you know, they're not sending me back the card because I got paid for it. So is PayPal going to pay them their money back because it was unauthorized to the PayPal account holder, and the person who has the card is going to keep? I don't know. But that was annoying because you're trying as a seller. You're trying to do everything right, everything the correct way, and you get bit. So one other one, okay? The plain white envelope, okay? Again, you're selling a card and you get the card, you know, and you have your, what do you call it? The tracking number, you know, the postage, the 380, 420 or whatever it is. And for whatever reason, you get a message from the winner, like as soon as the auction's over. Hey guy, you know, can we just save the $4 in shipping and send it in a plain white envelope? No, can't do it. Sorry. Nope. Do not pass go. Do not collect your $200. Not going to do it. They can be fine. They can have every intent that it's not going to be a you know, some kind of dishonest thing. But what does that do? The days of sending cards in the plain white envelope is over, fellas, gals. Don't do it. Because if you send something and then someone tells eBay they did not receive it, and then you have the tracking number that says on this date it was delivered to the house on record, you're good. You're good. I talked to eBay about this. This happened to me once before, where I sent a card and I got a message from, you know, they said, oh God, here we go again. And the person said, hey man, didn't get the card. Well, I just checked the tracking number and it says it was delivered. Now, I'm not saying you're lying, but I'm not the postal service, and all I can go by with what it says, it was delivered. And they're like, well, it's not. And they go, what should I do? Like, what should you do? Well, if it was me, go ask your neighbors, you know, check with the post office. Sometimes it'll come a day later. Check with your postman if you see him. Sometimes it reflects a day or whatever. But, well, I want my money back. Well, why am I going to give you your money back if it says delivered? file with eBay. So they filed with eBay, got the thing, and eBay, went through their thing and sent the tracking number, and they're like, "Yep, you're good to go." Now my whole thing was I talked to eBay about it because it said case closed. We find in your favor, but they refunded the money. So it's cool if the guy really didn't get it, but I don't know. Me being skeptical it's just too easy. Maybe one day I won't get it, right? But if it says delivered, at least as a seller, you're good. Look, I know that was a lot. I do want to recommend though. Mojo Breaks the Hype did specific scams. They talk about submission scams, or what they talk about. They talk about these hot packs, which why anyone would buy hot packs or repackaged stuff. You got me. And reprint cards and stuff like that. They got specifically into some of these scams, and I kind of gave an overview of what to watch out for, from my background. But check it out; they're pretty good. That's it in a nutshell. The bottom line is this, guys. Look, protect yourself as best you can from the bad actors out there, because they are out there, they are lurking, they are ready to separate you from your money. And how do we do that? You have to be vigilant. Okay, now you hear all these guys on these other YouTube channels telling you go buy this, go buy that, and that's great. But there are other aspects when you're going to actually buy cards and sell cards. And this is where I want to try to at least give a reference point for at least the new people, right? And as this industry continues to grow, more and more people are going to try to scam you out of your money. It's just the way it is. It's everywhere. We're seeing it with everyday things. The IRS. If you don't pay your IRS bill, we're going to raid your house. And by the way, public service announcement, because I do consulting work for with consulting with drug enforcement, my old life, I do consulting for private companies and stuff like that. These government entities will never call you. They'll never call you and ask for money. They will either visit you personally or they will send you a certified letter. So if someone ever calls you from saying, "Hey, we're from the IRS. If you don't pay this money," public service announcement, never ever do that. The government won't do that. So anyway, look, as I said before, this is their life, trying to figure out ways to make money off of other people. And it's horrible. It's disgusting. There's a special place in hell for these people as far as I'm concerned. So if you guys hear of any new scams or any new ways of people are getting in trouble, let me know. I'd like to look into it. I like to keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. But in the words of a famous character from a famous TV show, Hill Street Blues, Google it, because I know 90% of you have no idea what that show was. Be careful out there. That's all we can do. Be vigilant, be careful, right? And just do the best that we can to enjoy and be successful in this hobby. So with that extra long episode today, hope you got something out of it. Take care, and we'll talk soon.